Hey everyone, I just wanted to make a video going over the parts and patches for the song Faithfulness by Hillsong Worship. It is 75 beats per minute. The original recording key is A. That's also the key that we're going to be doing it in today. I'm really primarily going to be going over the piano part for this song. There's a ton of synths and other really interesting things that are happening as well. Primarily for our purposes, we've been playing the piano part because it's a bit more important and a bit more prominent, and then allowing the synth parts to be handled a bit on the track, or if we have a second keyboard player, having them handle those synth parts. But the meat of it is really the piano. Piano is important in this song, and so I just wanted to go over that for a moment. Now, the sounds that I'm using are pretty simple. I have a piano and a pad going on at this point, right? So you can hear the piano there. Underneath there is a pad, which you can hear sustaining. And hooked up to the mod wheel is the cutoff frequency of the filter. Right, so as I roll that up or down, it gets brighter or darker. The mod wheel is also being controlled by an expression pedal that I have down here under my left foot. So I can control again the brightness or the darkness of this pad. So it's pretty simple as far as overall sounds go, just a piano and a pad kind of holding it down. And the parts are pretty simple as well. For most of the song, you're really just playing simple chords. There's one part where there is a lead line that a lot of different people, a lot of different instruments play, and that's prominent. We'll go over that in a moment. But for the most part, you're just playing chords. So when the song starts off, it counts in, the whole band is in right from the very beginning, and it starts on a 6 minor, so that's F sharp minor, and we're in the key of A. If we're in a different key, of course, adjust that to whatever key you're in. But when we're counted in, we just start right off on that 6, 2, 3, 4, bum, 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 bum. Rising sun, to kingdom come. Your faithful love is unfailing. The shadows turn and tempest stir. Right, so you're primarily just playing chords through this whole part, right? Essentially, just one kind of major chord, really one hit per chord change. And then as you get into the pre-chorus, you can kind of start building a little bit, right? Through every hour, I will recall my hope is Jesus. And then it drops a little bit. Great is your faithfulness. And you're back to simpler chord changes. Kind of very light. You can play a little bit lower too, different inversions if you would like. Great your faithfulness. And the band is back in there. So you're in a little bit heavier. Right? So primarily we're just playing chords through there. They're very simple. You're just changing essentially along with the bass player, kind of one solid hit per chord change. And then again, you're building through those pre-choruses. You can be a bit more aggressive. Right, kind of powering through that. You're following the dynamics of the rest of the band here at this point. And then right after that second chorus, it goes into the instrumental. Now, the instrumental is where that interesting lead line comes in, and you have a couple options as to how to play it, but I just want to play it for you one time so you can hear it. It's also very prominent in the track, so if you listen to it, you'll hear it, but it goes something like this. Just kidding, I played that wrong. Let me try that again. Right, it does that 2 times through, so again. Now you have a couple options as to how to play that. All right, you can play that with both hands, one an octave higher and one in that same octave. But clearly you guys are better piano players than I am. So as you get into some of that higher stuff, it gets difficult for me, but if you want to do that, you can do that. The other option is to play the lead line in your right hand while playing the chords in your left hand. And depending on the band that you have, that may be the best option just to help fill it out a little bit, because you're essentially taking all of this meat and getting rid of it, and you've got this. So while that needs to stick out and jump out and kind of power through that section of the song, you also don't want it to lose what it's building up to. So if you play that with the chords in your left hand, it's the same chords as the chorus. So you've got a 1, which is A, 5, which is E, 6, which is a F sharp minor, and 4, which is D. And so you can play that through like this as well. Same thing over again, or play that an octave higher, right, to help it jump out a bit more. So that's at your discretion. Again, based on the band situation that you're in at that point, you may want to keep the low end or not keep the low end. Really play it by ear there. Immediately after that, you come into the bridge, and the bridge drops pretty substantially, so you get kind of quiet. Be a season for joy and weeping, in everything our God is faithful, right? It does the bridge 3 times through, so each time you're building a little bit more. Second time through, there'll be a season for joy and weeping, in everything our God is faithful. His arms are open, I will come running, right? That's one full bridge is that progression 2 times through. The third bridge, you're really jamming, building along with the rest of the band. There's just one important chord change the third time through. On His Arms Are Open, you go to a 1/3, A over C sharp instead of just the A. So there'll be a season for joy and just big through the rest of the song, and you got to make sure that you tag there at the end. I lift my eyes, I won't forget. You're back on that 6 minor, which is the F sharp minor. Your faithfulness, one more time, I won't forget your faithfulness. And you end on the tonic, the 1, which is an A major in this case. that's basically the whole song. Pretty simple, just jamming chords through there, really filling in the meat. You could see I wasn't playing super high aside from that lead line. So really filling in the meat of the band. And then again, just keeping in mind when you go to that lead line, do you want to play the bass notes in your left hand, or is there enough low end in the band that you don't need that? So just keep that in mind. But that is Faithfulness by Hillsong Worship. Thanks.